Like right now?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh. Well, hi. Welcome back to the Real Shit Podcast. It's been a while
A hot
since
minute.
I've done one. Yeah, it's been a hot one. Well, first off, obviously we're back with Nick.
Hello.
Which, it's been probably a good month and a half since we've done one.
Yeah, it's
Month
been
and
it's
a
been a
half.
while.
And I think I did a solo one it was probably a month ago I did one. But yeah, we're back. And yet again, for the third time in a row, we do not have a topic. And we're just going to, it's what we do, you know. We come in, we sit down, and we just like, oh, do we have any topics today? And, you know, I'll be like, oh, I obviously came up with nothing. And I'll be like, you know, usually Nick being the more responsible one will be like, yo, you got any ideas? And then he'll be like, no. And I'm like, oh, we're really screwed then if you came up with nothing. I mean, like me, my laziness could be my excuse.
You have to cut me some slack on this one. Today was very impromptu.
Yeah, it was. I hit him up because I guess that's one thing we can discuss. I'm interning at a local radio station. I won't give away too much information. We'll kind of keep some of that. Yeah, I can't really. But I need a set of headphones. So obviously, Nick, being the audio genius he is, always coming up with all the good stuff. He fixing my mic for me. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Perfection. Yes. But so anyways, I needed a set of headphones because, let's be honest, they have headphones there, but like, are the headphones really that good? Like, nah, not really. Half of them are broken and in like two different pieces, and they're like, oh hey, on Monday you're gonna be on the air, and I'm like, oh cool, and they're like, you know, we have a set of headphones here, and I'm like, you know, I'd really like to get my own, you know, so Nick's going to lend me a pair of his, and I'm going to try them out, and if I like them, I'm going to buy them, which basically means I'm probably going to end up buying them, because they're the ones that I'm using right now. I was about to say, I'm currently wearing them, and I really like them. They're really good. But, yeah, it's funny, because it's going to be quite a different experience going on live air, where obviously here, we're just sitting here, and, you know, we're recording all of this.
Everything that we're saying can be edited. Or...
Yeah, it can be changed, where if you're on live air and, you know, I accidentally say fuck, well, you know, yeah. You see, like, we'll hear on this, on the podcast, too, like, you know.
I could edit that out.
You could, but also, you know, me not caring, and obviously me having control.
We also don't get a fine, and
exactly.
Our license is threatened.
Yeah, so with that being said, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to, think of everything I say before I say it, and, you know, not be impulsive, which really kind of sucks because it kind of ruins my my mojo, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Yeah, but it's just interesting though, like thinking about it before I actually go into it. It's just cool because obviously I've sat behind the microphone before. It's something that I'm clearly comfortable with, but it's just funny because this is a new ball game. You know, it's like a different level for me. It's like I'm kind of like upgrading the slightest little bit into that like professional-ish.
You're moving into you're moving into professionalism.
Yeah, and it's really awesome to think about that and to know that.
You got to do it for us real quick. Give us your best voiceover voice.
Voiceover voice?
Yeah, like say 15% or more on car insurance, that kind of thing.
Yeah, are we going to get copyrighted for that?
I said, say 15% or more on car insurance, not Geico. Say 15% more on car insurance. We'll have to bleep that name out.
Yeah, we'll just...
Because that's probably a name that I don't want to fuck with.
Yeah.
Because they are my car insurer, too, so, like...
Oh, well, you know... Yeah, it'll be like, yeah, we don't want to cover you anymore because you said our name in a podcast.
That got published.
It got poobwished. That's another thing we need to do. We need to set up. I downloaded Spotify for artists, and got really confused in trying to set up the account. So after we're done doing this, we'll have to try to. Yeah, apparently I have no idea what I'm doing, which
shouldn't become as a shock as you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Like again, we need to get a camera set up because. The facial expressions, the fact that he just stuck his tongue out at me, like, it hurts my feelings a little bit if I'm being quite honest.
Oh, you're a pussy. Shut up.
Stop it. Oh, my God. I'm such a snowflake.
What are you, a fucking snowflake?
Oh, goodness. Snowflakes. I can't stand them. But
Now, there's snowflakes, and then there's Snowflakes.
Snowflakes.
Like snowflakes.
Yeah, if you want to see snowflakes, just go on the Facebook real quick. I bet you within the top 10 posts that are in your feed, you'll find at least one.
Not even that. I mean, like, and here's the thing. A lot of people are going to refer to the fact, think about the fact we're referring to just liberals. No, there are Republican snowflakes too.
Yep.
Look at anybody who says anything about Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, that's something I find funny too. Is like now because of the direction that I'm moving in with, I guess you could say, my professional career.
They are very liberal.
That, and I mean, there's it's funny you mention that. But they also deal a lot with, you know, general issues that are, you know, obviously important to the public, obviously important to the government, and, you know, it's very political, a lot of the stuff that I have to deal with. And in a certain way, it's funny because the way the system is set up, it's almost like within the certain things you say and certain things you do, basically the way you act, people are gonna, you know, assume
that you're
or
this.
Try to assume that you're this or you're that. And honestly, I try to have no affiliation to any of that. I mean, I do pay attention to it because obviously it is important. It does affect my life. It affects everyone else's life, and it's something that you should pay attention to, and you should at least know what's going on.
Or like, okay, so on that topic, like the amount of people that think you shouldn't vote for the simple fact of it's the government's way of mind controlling you, making you feel important. No. You vote.
Yep.
For the love of God, vote.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Electoral College does kind of fuck everything over.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. That's a conversation that I'm not going to get into because...
We could be here for hours.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
Politics is something I did political sciences in both
high school
and college.
Okay. I did it in high school, so...
And, like, it's you know, when you pay attention to it, you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, you
like,
kind of realize how stuff works, and that's even the best part too, because a lot of people, and I mean, okay, maybe not a lot of people, I think that would be unfair to say, but you will come across people who tend to have their opinions, but then not also have the facts. Exactly, not have the facts to back it up. And it's something that, you know, they'll see a post on social media, and then they'll go off on a big rant or whatever, or even post something on social media themselves.
And you see a lot of that with older Republicans.
Yep.
My girlfriend's father is a prime example of it. He constantly posts things. And it's like, dude, did you even fact check this? Like, the other day I went on, my grandmother shared something about Obama and a Muslim prayer curtain behind him. And then a picture on it was Obama with American flags, or it was a bunch of other Republican presidents with American flags behind him. I'm like, first things first, did you fact check this, grandmother?
Yeah.
Secondly, there's no such thing as a Muslim prayer curtain.
So obviously she didn't fact check it. And
thirdly, the curtains were on the east end of the White House.
Yep.
And they're still on the east end of the White House because you can look at pictures of Donald Trump with the same curtains behind him.
Oh, that would, you know, they're Muslim curtains, bro. So Trump must, you know, Trump must be evil too. Hashtag not my president.
All of them are.
Yeah. No, that's it. It takes...
When you have the power to literally say, yeah, okay, let's drone strike this country because reasons, they're threatening our people. Let's just put a drone strike there.
Yep.
Boom. How many civilian casualties were there? No one mentioned that.
Yeah.
No one wants to talk about the civilian casualties with the killing of Hussein Soleimani.
Yep.
I think that's what his name was. All I know was something Soleimani.
Yep.
But, like, how many civilians died?
Yeah. No.
How many civilians died when they struck near us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are we not worth nothing to them?
Yeah.
Because if that was us...
If we got bombed, we would have been at war right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows that.
Oh yeah.
It's like big dick policy, you know. The correct terminology is big stick, but let's be honest, it's big dick. That's what it really is. If you know, it's funny, something that I'll bring up real quick. George Carlin, he always made references, and when he spoke about the military, he said, "You notice how everything is shaped like a dick." the bombs are shaped like a dick. The planes are shaped like a dick.
They are. And
they call it the cockpit.
Did you see our wonderful president's design of the Space Force logo?
I did not.
Oh, Lordy.
Is it?
It's funny.
He's not a graphic designer, is he? He didn't go to college. He didn't study hard enough. No, I just...
Okay, I'm going to pull it up. No,
go ahead. Yeah,
it was done by professional people, but he said, like, him and the people he collaborated with, they all designed it. And it's pretty funny. Let's see. Trump's Space Force logo.
See if it comes up there. See if it populates.
So it looks just like Star Trek's Starfleet stuff.
Okay. So he was like, "Oh, yo, people would be able to recognize this and, like this because it references Star Trek." Dude, what the hell? Who the hell came up with that? Oh my god.
Hold on, I gotta call. Make a call real quick.
I will say though, it's funny because this is the first time, and it's something that I always try to avoid. Oh, you paused it?
No, I didn't pause it.
Oh, you okay?
No, I'm just gonna.
That's fine. I can sit here and ramble to myself in this dark room for a few minutes.
Wait a second.
Oh, we could.
Yeah, we'll pause it.
Okay. All right. So I assume when the clicking noise stops, that means it is back to recording.
Yeah, it's a 4-bar counting.
Okay, cool. I'm just asking.
It's just like drums. It's like drums in the back.
Make sure I don't do anything that's copyrighted. Don't want to get copyrighted for humming a song. Anyways, where were we? I think I was discussing the topic, how it's kind of unique that we actually have dabbled into politics a little bit. That's something that I never thought I would really get into. Obviously, with my quotations to make myself sound more intelligent, my professional life kind of is getting me involved in that stuff. So I'm hearing a lot more of that stuff, honestly, on a daily basis. And honestly, I'm paying a lot more attention to it than I was before, simply because the fact that, well, it'd be very foolish of me not to, considering the fact that within my profession / internship, whatever you want to call it,
it's your internship. It's your profession, but it's an internship.
Yeah, I kind of need to know that stuff if I want to actually sound competent in conversations, and that's one thing we need to get. We need to get a cough button. Get a little cough button. No?
Cough button?
Cough button. You don't know what a cough button is? Okay, so in radio stations, if you're doing, a live shoot, or even if you're just, whatever the hell you're doing. But basically, anyways, what I'm going to say is, in the one studio that we do most of our shows out, pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
it's pretty much, it's in the room, and you're like, oh no, I have to cough. Let's hit this button that cuts my mic off for like 10 seconds, so the producer doesn't have to. And yeah, so, but no, like I think it's funny that because that's something that I really never wanted to discuss. I never really paid enough attention to that stuff to know what I was fully talking about. I mean, obviously, everyone formulates their own opinions, has their own beliefs, whatever. Which that's just
life.
Yeah, that's just the way it works. But I've never been one to really talk about that stuff, simply because the fact that with most people, this is just my experience, of course, whether it's unfair of me to say what I'm about to say or not. I kind of find that a lot of people, when you begin a conversation with them about politics, that they don't
know what they're talking about.
They don't know what they're talking, and they're very one-sided, and they don't
look at the other side at all, ever.
Yep. No, they never try to have the two-sided perspective, and they're just so stuck in their, and that's just, I don't know if it's a selfishness or what it is, but
it's just people don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They only want to believe what they want to believe. They want everything fucking sugar-coated and in their perspective.
Yep. Well, that's the thing, too. It's kind of like a self-important thing, and I think it's funny. I've had this discussion with two people. Funny enough, where you ever notice if you're having a conversation and you're talking to someone, and when they're saying stuff, that times where if you actually stop and like think of what you're thinking about, you're not really fully digesting what they're saying, but you are, but you're kind of not. But like the one side of your brain is automatically trying to come up with what you're going to say next in the conversation instead of really actually listening to what the other person is saying. I think that's something that's funny because, I've caught myself doing that where, I'll be in a deep conversation with someone and they'll be talking, and instead of really fully being able to digest what they're saying, I'm already trying to formulate what I'm going to say in response.
Mm-hmm. Like people are very. They want to be instantaneous with their answers because they think they think pausing is a sign of you don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly, but I think obviously, well, it adds dramatic effect too. I think everyone that was listening was just like, "Yo, my headphones working? Like, why did this just cut out?"
No. When you actually take a second and you pause and you're speaking, you create people. Like, I forget the exact psychology in it because I know it did. It was during my speech class that we had to learn how to use pauses as
effectively as dramatic effect, or
not even as a dramatic, as just as I guess it would be adding punctuation to something that's important.
Okay.
So like, say we're talking about like the creation of the Space Force.
Yeah.
And say you were just firing off answers as to questions, but like when you ask me a question, I'm paused. I'm a little slower to respond because it just adds like a certain hey, I'm a little more intelligent about this subject because it's taking a little bit of time to gather all that information to give to you. It's not like I'm just firing answers off that are my opinion.
Yeah.
Which is what most people do.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, too. I think something else that goes a long way is that a lot of people tend to want to be heard, but no one ever seems to want to listen. No
one wants to listen.
And it's funny because when you have a world full of people that want to be heard, it kind of doesn't work out too well. And it tends to lead to a lot of arguments,
buddy,
a lot of unhappiness.
You're talking to somebody who manages an artist.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I can only imagine what that...
I want to be heard. Let's do this.
And it's like, bro, you gotta chillax a little bit. Let's,
Like, trust me, I want you to be heard too. I want to make money from this.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But you're not gonna be heard.
Yep.
The guy refuses to do shows in Wilkes-Barre anymore. Okay. For the simple fact of no one shows up.
Okay.
That's how all artists start.
Yeah.
No one shows up.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. It's annoying as hell because, managing it. Most people do not want to pay a hip-hop or R&B artist to come to them.
Yep.
You have to pay them to perform in their venue.
Yeah.
But if you were a rock musician or a blues musician, they would pay him to go there.
Exactly.
So, the other band that I'm associated with, they get paid to go to different places and perform.
Yeah.
But in my experience, everywhere that I've, booked this artist for so far, or that he's booked himself for, however you want to go about it, if you're listening, is we've had to pay out the ass.
Yeah.
One place wanted $150 for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You got to rent the place out.
Yeah.
But if we're bringing, people into your restaurant, they're going to be buying alcohol because they're all mostly over the age of 21.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be buying food because we've hyped your place up for how long?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, the fuck?
Well, I think part of that too also is the type of genre the music is.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, where in most places, they're not looking for the R&B and the rap like you just mentioned. They're looking for more of that classical blues type, also rock and roll, even maybe a little bit of country in there. I don't think country is nearly as popular as like classical and the rock and the blues.
Yeah,
because that's just more of a. And also it also depends on the type of venue the place happens to be.
That's the thing that gets me the most. So, actually, I think they're closed. Let me just double check before I mention names, because I don't want to mention names, and because they're Pennsylvania, they're gonna sue the fuck out of us.
But
1 second.
1 second. Well, while you pull that up, yeah. So, hi. How's your day going? This podcast is sponsored by nobody.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's right. Roseamp Records. Thank you, Roseamp Records. We appreciate you. And when I say we appreciate you, I mean, like, Nick, because he is, Roseamp Records.
Well, you got me, we got Desmond, and we got Sam. Honestly, they don't have much to do with this podcasting.
Yeah, but, they are a part of Roseamp Records, so I will send out the thank you to them as well, because obviously they're a part of Roseamp Records, and Roseamp Records is, helping support this podcast, and support is appreciated. And thank you to all the listeners.
I don't know if it is, and I don't really give a damn at this point.
Okay. I like lawsuits.
Alibaba's Liquor Lounge.
Alibaba.
I can't tell if they got closed or not. It was like a year ago that they were supposed to be closed because they got reported for a code violation. And it was literally, quote, unfit for human habitation.
Wow. That's bad.
I mean, also under the age of 21, they lost their liquor license because they gave people under the age of 21 the wristbands for the event.
Perfection.
Yeah. They gave me one.
And yeah, and you...
I didn't
at
drink.
that point.
But...
Yeah.
At that point, when I was there, I was not 21.
See, that was messed up.
Our dog is back in India.
Our mascot.
Hi, Pup. You're getting anxious or something.
But yeah, no, I think.
But like,
I can't believe. Like, how could you be so stupid?
But even
as a business,
I know,
could you
right?
be so dumb to do that?
But here's the best part. I think they wanted $400 for 6 hours.
What?
$400 for 6 hours.
Wow.
It was fucked. We didn't make them. They didn't make the money back.
Yeah.
I don't think. But either way, it was. Oh, hello, pup. You can't be doing this. Hello.
That was a dog, by the way.
Oh. Puppy.
We'll have to set up a third mic for you. All right. We'll get around to that. We'll have our mascot give his input.
Mic.
Yeah.
Put it right on this collar.
Yeah.
Sit down. Sit. Sit.
But no, that's just something too. Like you don't get like there's certain places there's.
But that. Like yeah, it is a hip hop place. Like they're known for hosting people like A Boogie, Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
They got Biggie. Like they've. Not Biggie. Jesus Christ. What's that fucking name? Biggie's dead. Either way, they've hosted a range of hip hop artists.
Okay.
Controversial ones at that. Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oops.
You rat. But
wow. Shots fired.
But either way, so they've hosted a shit ton of controversial events. And there was one also, the MR Lounge in Plymouth.
Okay.
There was actually someone that we knew, that we were close with. We were very supportive and encouraging of him opening his own restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
He asked for it was $100, $100 or $150, either way, I can't remember. $100. The night fell through because his DJ was late, and then when his DJ was late, there was a technical issue because if he was on time, if he was early, if If he was earlier than what he was, it would have been fixable.
Yeah.
But he wasn't. And so the night went to shit. Like we had to refund everyone their money back. And then when we tried to reschedule, there was no dates that were fit for him.
Yeah.
There was, he had posts on social media about people not supporting his club anymore. And, like, it's just like, dude, I know this was directed towards me and him. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's kind of shitty.
He would not reschedule us. He would not refund us. Dog!
Which, I mean, you think in that case, with, which is funny because you said no one's supporting the business. It's like, well, if you won't reschedule us, how are we therefore supposed to come in and try to get people to come in to support your club? And it almost seems like he's upset with his own failure, so he's trying to blame someone else for it. It's just kind of, I don't know. I'd say annoying.
Oh, it's very annoying. It's very, very annoying because that's the last performance that we actually got. Like, so like that's after that when the guy said that he was, my artist said he was not going to perform in Wilkes-Barre anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, whatever, dude. And like he wants to go perform at like a place. There's places in Philly that he has to pay like a deposit for and then sell tickets for. It's not. It looks shady, but it's not.
Yeah.
And it's just annoying because like I can't get the time off
to go all the way to Philly. It's, 2.5 hour ride.
There's that both ways, and then you got the
actual performance itself, and how much time that takes, and setting up, and
not even that. It's how long there's no guaranteed time slot. It depends on how much he sells. So if he has a 5-minute set, what the fuck are we supposed to do with 5 minutes?
Exactly.
Because no one's buying tickets because no one from around the area or no one that supports him is in Philly.
Yeah. They have no idea who this guy is, so therefore why would they spend money on?
Yeah, like the people that know him and support him are New York, this area, Ohio.
Yep.
He's got people in Ohio that he knows.
Well, well, that's how it starts.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much, I think, from a beginning standpoint, is kind of word of mouth. And that's even the thing too. It's kind of like, giving up on going to the local places that are in your area. It's like that's how it usually starts. You're going to play in empty bars and whatnot. It's just something that's, I mean, for you want to talk about an example. The one that I can think of, which I mean, you'll probably know exactly what I'm going to say, is like because they're from this area, Breaking Ben. I mean, look how huge they are. And
they all started in empty bars.
Exactly. Or in this area. Do the math.
I think the one thing that this area doesn't do very well is radio support.
Yeah, being in that, yeah. No, I agree.
Because we have 97.9X to do locals only on Sunday, and that's great.
Yep.
That's great. But 92.1 or whatever the fuck it is, BHT, nothing for local hip-hop artists.
Nothing. Yep.
No, you got to pay for airtime.
Yep. Well, that's the hardest part, too, is something that, obviously, me being in that industry, being involved in that almost on a daily basis, is that just how, and again, it's weird with radio because it's not dying, but it's not growing. It's very stagnant right now, the market for radio. It's kind of weird how it works. It's not, and that's even something too, obviously, it's kind of being, I guess you could say, demoted in a way. Obviously, TV's taken over and whatnot, but a lot of streaming services. So when it comes to radio, it's like, why even listen to the radio? And that's even funny too, because I remember when, Sirius XM was supposed to be this huge thing.
It still is.
Yeah, but it's funny in a way too, because even to a sense, that's kind of died as well because of Spotify and Pandora just kind of really taken over and have allowed listeners kind of the access to listen to whatever they want when they want. And that's even a thing too.
Ad free.
Exactly.
I mean, Sirius XM's ad free.
Yes.
But, it's not what you want.
Exactly. It's like, here's a lot of popular stuff of this genre that you like, and we'll play this popular stuff and that's it.
Over again. That's
Yep.
why I stopped it. It's not worth $25 a month.
It's not, no. And that's even funny, too. That's almost on the same lines as kind of like, with, like Dish, almost, if we're going to mention that, or DirecTV, like they're kind of in the same category. I don't want to bring up, television too much because we're kind of on the radio side of things right now. But no, like when it comes to, and that's even a thing, too, like with Spotify. I have Spotify. I don't have premium.
I do.
But, I mean, well, yeah, of course you do. But
I ain't going to listen to ads. Fuck that.
There is actually a trick that you can do, which I shouldn't say this because this is going to go on Spotify. And if they listen to this, I don't want them to know about the little trick because every single time I find a little glitch in Spotify's system, I will overuse the hell out of it because, why not? But there is a way that I can be able to listen to music without ads popping up. Obviously, I still only have, 6 skips per hour.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah.
You still also can't click on what you want to listen.
Well, actually, on your, what is it? The playlist that they make for you, you can. I don't know if it's daily mixes do it, but I know that, how at the end of the year, which is something we could talk about too, because I thought this was really awesome, how Spotify did your most listened to songs of the year, of the past year. Yeah. I think that was in mid-December, was that when Spotify released that stuff, which is super awesome. But then yet again, it's also kind of creepy because that means they pay attention and they're watching to what you listen to.
It's all based on you. Like you have everything that you do.
Yep.
So like it's not really creepy.
They obviously know what you play.
Well, yeah, because like I said, they
into.
have the. I gotta see if I can find it. I don't think I took pictures of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I have photos too. I think. I want to say it was in like mid to late December. They in case if you're a Pandora user or whatever, which I honestly I prefer Spotify over Pandora. I know a lot of people that use
1,000 times more.
Yep. But with that being said, whatever you use, it's still under the same topic anyways. But we're specifically talking about Spotify right now. Which Spotify, if you're listening, we love you. Just figure out, throw that in there. Thank you for allowing me to post this shit show on your site. Really, really appreciate it. But anyways, I thought it was really awesome that they incorporated your most listened to songs, which within that playlist, even for someone who is not who doesn't have premium, you can actually go into your most listened songs, and you can actually select the song in there, and you can also scrub through the song, which is kind of really cool. But I think it's interesting to say the least on how much what Spotify and Pandora give you. Even what is Spotify, like $10 a month or something like that for premium? Which I mean, you think of $10 a month to pretty much play whatever you want when you want, ad free, compared to Sirius XM, where you say that was like what, $25 a month? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was $25 a month.
So $25 a month to listen to. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's ad free, which is awesome, but you don't get to choose. You don't get to choose anything, and to a certain point, that's like, yeah, it's cool, but then you get sick and tired of listening to the same thing over and over and over again. Because what's okay? So for an example, Sirius XM, what is it? Which one does it a lot? Like you'll hear I think it was Sirius XM Turbo, one of the rock stations. I kid you not. Like I can go, I'll listen to it because obviously where I work, I get to deal with new cars all the time, and new cars always have Sirius XM in them. And I'll always, if I'm driving it somewhere for the dealership or, gassing it or whatever, I'll turn on the radio, and usually I'll put it on Sirius XM, and I'll go to one of the rock stations because I think they have a bunch, and I mean, technically some of the alternative stations also play some of the rock stuff like grunge. Like I know there's kind of one of them is called Lithium, which is basically kind of like Nirvana. But no, one of them that I listen to is Turbo, and I can almost guarantee you, which is funny because it just happened today to me actually. Maybe a month or two ago I listened and I heard The Enemy by Godsmack. Awesome song. I'm a huge Godsmack fan. Probably love them to death. My favorite band of all genres, number one, top of my list. But with that being said, I hopped in a car today, and the same song was on. And it's like, I just heard this song. Well, don't get me wrong, I'm going to listen to this song. I love this song, but I heard this song a month ago. And it's like, when it comes to, their playlist, or however they, because I'm assuming that's how SiriusXM does it. It's just a big automated playlist.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that most radio?
That is most radio, and honestly, it is absolutely disgusting. That's why I'm so happy that where I'm currently interning, it's not a music station, it's a news and talk station, which is super awesome. Which that probably just gave away what station I was if people know the local area that I'm in, but I don't care. But no, that's something that radio has gone in a direction of where they prefer everything to be automated. They don't do a lot of live shows. They really don't do a lot of live remotes either, which is kind of sad because there's something about having a personality behind the mic, and that's something that, that's what we're doing right now. People listen to podcasts not only to get insight on certain things, but also it's the enjoyment. It's the personality of who's behind the mic, who's talking, what they're saying. And
I think I have a title for this.
You have a title for this? Go ahead.
Radio, politics, and bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. Good enough for me because I don't have one. But yeah, no, I think it's sad because a lot of the good stuff that like I used to listen to, they no longer have. They don't do live shows anymore. And that's one thing I will say, that the station that I'm interning at, it's super awesome because that's pretty much what they do. It's a live talk show, and one thing too, which, obviously for me, like I said it before in this podcast, I try not to get too deeply involved with politics. That's something that they do discuss a lot. It's something that comes up in conversation pretty much every single day on every single show. But still though, it's a unique atmosphere because of the fact that you can be, in the producing room at the switcher and look through the glass and see the host talking into a microphone. That is the coolest experience. That is one thing that I will say over this past week, because I just started this past Wednesday. That has been absolutely awesome for me. And it's something that, like, I've listened to their show, like the people that I'm working with, I've listened to their show for a good few months now, because when I first started looking for an internship, that was one of the first places that I, applied to and tried to get in. Lucky enough, I finally happened to get in after some communication issues. But it was super, super awesome I've literally tuned my radio and saved it as a preset to listen to that show. And every time I got the chance, I'd listen to it. Obviously now with, apps and whatnot, you can, be able to actually listen, after the show or live during it. And, but with that also being said too, I think that it's really awesome. Because like I said, I've heard these people's voices. I've met these people before. I talk to them. It is such a unique atmosphere to be in the room or, in the producing room, listening and actually visually seeing them produce their show. It is super cool. And that's even something, too, is because it's not like music stations nowadays where pretty much everything's automated. And even when you think you're hearing someone who's live behind the mic, most of the time it's pre-recorded and it's thrown on the air. I know someone who works at a musical station, and that's what he does. He'll go in on a certain day, like a few days before, and he'll sit down and he'll record his show. Basically do his segments, where he talks and whatever. And the station just pretty much, it'll be in, like an Adobe Edition file or whatever, program they use. And basically they'll just throw it on the air. And so like I said, everything's automated in a sense, and it's horrible. I don't like it. Because not only does you lose out on job opportunities, you lose a lot of talent. And I like the atmosphere of, again, well, obviously I like it, sitting behind a microphone and just kind of having that personality and being able to kind of, do and say and I guess express yourself. Because, we said it before, how everyone wants to, everyone wants to be heard. And, I don't know. I like it. I love this. Sitting behind a microphone is one of my favorite things to do. I love that about as much as I love being in front of a camera. Like, it's something that comes natural to me. It's something that I love to do. And I don't know. I just really like that. And I love that I'm actually given the opportunity to see how that stuff works professionally. and to actually be able to improve myself based upon what I see professionally. And honestly, I'm super excited for Monday, because Monday I get to sit in the room, in the studio, and be behind a microphone, be a voice with people who have been doing it their entire lives, and being a part of a show that is super popular. It's a morning show. Morning shows are the most like the morning, like the morning rush.
The morning commute.
Yeah, the morning commute. That is the best time for radio. That is the absolute prime time for radio.
You also have the evening commute too.
Yeah, but it's not as big as the morning. Believe it or not, it's not as big as the morning. But nah, it's super awesome. And plus, I don't know, it's just so cool because the two people that I'm sitting with are, obviously I won't say their names, but they're very well-known, profound people in the community. A lot of people know who they are. You mention their show, the title of their show, and they're like, and most people will be like, yeah, I know their show. Know who they are. I've listened to their show before. And it's cool because I get to be a part of that. And it's something cool, too, with some of the stuff that they're doing with, one of their big things now is they like to take a lot of phone calls and texts. Mm-hmm. And it's something that's really cool, too, is because they have happened to mention my name and that I'm there, and that people, who are listening on air, or listening on the radio or whatever, they're like, they hear these people say my name, and then they will start calling or asking questions about me, and it's like, that's wild. Like, the ability to sit behind a microphone and be able to reach however many people listen to that show, however many people are going about their lives. Exactly. You have no idea who they are. It's just, I'm in awe. And I think, honestly, after Monday, with, depending on how everything goes, if they include me in the show like I think they are, which I'm pretty much going to be sitting in the chair behind the mic for 3 hours straight, maybe they're I won't be doing a lot of discussions, but my voice will still be out there, nonetheless. Mm-hmm.
Which means awesome. You need to be up to date on current events.
Yes, which means, the night before or whatever, I'm going to be pulling up,
Why the night before? Do it before.
Do it before. Like, well, that's, what's funny? I get there before both the hosts do. And it's funny, the one host, he'll roll in, I kid you not, he'll roll in 10 to 5 minutes before he goes on air, and then the second his show's over, he's out the door. He's like, yep, here I am. I'm here to do my show. I'm here. We're doing my show, having a great time, having a few laughs. Oh, look at the time. Time for me to get my ass out of here. And he's gone. It's like, all right, see you, dude. We'll see you tomorrow, bro.
Pretty much.
Which, I mean, that's cool. I'd love to have that job.
In and out.
That'd be awesome. Well, that's even the wild part, too, because then you see all the other people.
You fuck?
But it is something too. Like all the other people that work there too. Like it's not that big. Like it doesn't take a lot to produce these shows. Like the show that like I'm like currently on working with the people. There's pretty much 3 of them, and then they have someone to do your national news update or just news in general update. And then someone to do a traffic report. So realistically, that whole show is pretty much done with 3 people, but they add in 2 more, which is wild. That it doesn't take a lot, and that's even a thing too. I think one thing I will say from being in that atmosphere, I think it's slightly overglorified by some people. It's not. It's not as difficult as you think. The people that it's
overglorified by have no clue about the industry at all.
Yep.
Period.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's honestly, it's pretty much what we're doing now, except there would be a third person here who would be switching and running all the ads and pretty much going through, obviously you have your ads, you have your promos, you have your bumpers, all that stuff. And, when we go on break or whatever, making sure that mics are shut off. So basically running the board,
soundboard operator. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. Which is kind of, I have experience in that. You have.
Okay, so soundboard. I can do the soundboard.
Yep.
I can hit mute and such.
Yep.
I don't know anything else about the whole, putting ads up and that kind of thing. If it's a click of a button, it's fine.
Pretty much, yeah, that's what it is.
And
It's
that's
not that
perfectly fine.
hard at all. One thing I will say too is kind of cool.
Like I have no clue about your automation systems or like writing automation for radio. Like I can write automation on this. I can make it fade in, fade out, do this, that, the other thing. But I don't know.
No, that's pretty much what it is. It's these little, and again, it's easy because pretty much it's a program like what you have, except we actually use Adobe Edition. Yeah, on Windows 7.
Ew.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I come in my first day and I sit down at the computer and the producer's kind of showing me how things work. And he pulls up Adobe. He's like, "You ever use Adobe Edition?" I'm like, "Yep." He pulls it up on Windows. And it's Windows 7.
Windows 7 will no longer be supported as of July.
I know. And it's like, bro.
I can bring my Mac in and be 4 times more powerful than that machine.
Pretty much, yeah. But they still use it because everything's on that. You think they would update.
It's also not hard to go flash drive and from flash drive to new computer.
Yeah. But no, that's even, that's a whole other conversation we can get into, but
Hey, would you already believe we're already an hour and 45 into this?
Yeah, but by the time it compresses it down, it'll probably be like an hour or so. Right? Because that's the thing is we always get on that. And we'll be like, "Oh, dude, we've been doing this for 2 hours." But by the time it actually compresses down, it's more like you pretty much almost cut it in half.
Yeah, because it kind of takes out all the spaces.
Yeah, the awkward pauses and whatnot, or the times where your dog's jumping on your lap or jumping on my lap, and
yeah. I was trying to get into Spreaker earlier, but he wouldn't. Dante.
¿Dónde estás? Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Dante.
Yeah, I know.
No español. No habla español. Te quiero mi habla español. Yo hablo español.
So we're just going to speak Spanish for the rest of
If you'd like me to.
Yeah, see, yeah, see, no, I was going to try there, but I don't know enough Spanish to actually make it like
hablo español.
Sí, señor.
Ay, Dios mío, puta madre.
Whoa, what did you say about my madre?
I said, tu puta madre.
Can you translate?
Said, you're a son of a bitch.
Yeah, pretty accurate. But, no, I guess, well, that's my story anyways. I'm excited for that. It's been fun. The whole getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning thing really blows.
Dude, I've been doing that. Like, I've been working at Best Buy. I have to be at Best Buy pretty much 7 a.m. Every day.
Yeah. So you're waking up at like 5:36-ish.
5:30.
5:30?
5 or 5:30. Because I need to leave at 6. Because it's
morning
morning rush.
For how long of it? Yeah, yeah, that's true too. That's one thing I will say. That is awesome for me.
I hop on 81.
Yep, and it's like...
From Mountaintop, and it's like...
Shit.
And it's like, God damn.
Yep.
I didn't know it was possible to be that pissed off at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like
you're barely awake, but yet,
Like you have this rage burning inside you because like all of a sudden people are braking left and right and you're like, why?
What are you doing? There's no reason.
Keep fucking moving.
Yeah. Just slow down a little bit. Don't be doing 70 and then do 0 and then do 70 and then do 0.
That's what it feels like.
Just do 40, 45. There you go.
The speed limit is 55.
Yep. Well, with morning hour.
Like, that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say is speed limit is 55. Get to it.
Do it.
55 is not hard to reach. And
just do it.
My girlfriend's car that was falling apart could reach 55 without a problem.
Yep.
You can hit 55.
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
Do it. That simple. Yep. Mm-hmm. he's mad about it now just thinking about it.
Yeah, because I got to do it tomorrow.
But
Sunday morning. And weekend traffic? Nothing. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, which is, yeah.
But Monday morning at 6 in the morning?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Forget about it. Nope, agreed. That's something I will say, too, is that I wake up early enough.
That you're right before it all.
I'm right before it, and is it beautiful.
And then you get out right after it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I usually leave the building at like 9:30.
I'm pretty much 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Yeah. So, getting there sucks, but when you leave, it's not that bad.
No. Unless I'm like, for some reason, like tomorrow, I'm there from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Oh, yeah, it's going to blow.
getting out at 5 sucks balls.
Yeah.
Like, it's like choking on donkey dick.
Nice terminology. I like that. Donkey dick. Just pulled that one right out of your ass. It's like, let's see. He literally, I could just picture it now. Inside of his brain, just opened up, the encyclopedia.
Donkey dick.
Donkey dick. There it is. That's the one I want to use. Flips on book. Licks finger. Flicking through real quick. Whoa, donkey dick. Haven't used that one in a while. Let's pull that one out.
Haven't used that one in a hot minute. Right.
Oh, but fuck. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah. See, and this is what happens when we don't have any topics.
We just ramble.
Like, we ramble, and then we have these moments where you're not saying anything, and then I'm kind of like, I don't know what to say next, and then you're also kind of
okay.
Like,
I have to say it. So with the shadow of the microphone, right? When you're talking, no. When you're talking, and you're looking at it, you look kind of cross-eyed.
Do I really? I look cross-eyed?
No, like it's just funny because like the one eye's blocked and it looks like you're looking.
Yeah,
or like you have like this bit here straight at the.
Well, it's funny. I'm trying to use because of your one light. I'm trying to use like the bottom half base of the microphone to kind of like block the light.
Why haven't you said something?
I just
it
roll
fucking
with it.
moves.
Oh, move it, please. Oh, yeah, it's a little better. Yeah, that's not
or like I can do this. The official color of Roseamp.
Oh, there you go. Red. And now it's really dark in here. Yeah, now it's not so dark. Perfection. Excellent. It changes colors, too, by the way. See, this is why we need a camera set up in here, because, which, funny enough, the camera's in the car, actually. But, I just too lazy to bring it in. Because,
it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really not a pain in the ass, but I'm just like, why take it in? There's no reason to. Which is even the worst part.
But there always is a fucking reason to.
There's always a reason to, and I didn't think about it, and...
Like, there's always a reason, because, like, it's better to over-record than under-record.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's something, too, it's kind of like, even in the video world, for me, it's kind of like, there's no such thing as enough B-roll. Which, if people are listening to this and not knowing what B-roll is, it's kind of like...
bloopers.
Yeah, extra footage. Of where, like, if you cut away and you have a voiceover, which is a voiceover means someone's talking in the background, but you're playing a video over their voice, and the audio that is currently what you're visually seeing isn't the actual audio that you're actually taking when you first shot. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
You understand it. Someone else, because I'm using the terminology I'm using. Kind of like, huh? What?
Someone's supposed to be like, what?
Yeah.
What are they talking about?
So
this isn't a technical podcast.
Yeah. There you go. You just came up with a brilliant idea. He's writing it down. He actually has his pen. He's pulling up his iPad. He's taking notes
shut the fuck
as we speak. Well, because we don't have the camera set up, I have to let them know what the silence is on your end. He's taking notes on his iPad. He's taking notes. He's writing it down.
No, currently I'm running fuck you, Bew.
He's going to turn around and show me, and he's going to say it. But, yeah, technical podcast. There you go. That's an idea. Or at least an idea for a podcast itself. Hey.
Fuck you, Bew.
Fuck you. But, no, that's because we need to start doing this, especially with what you told me, before we started.
Yeah.
But,
that's only a possibility.
Yeah.
I can't speak too much of it.
Yeah, which,
But... let's just say that there is a possibility where I could be moving to Arizona for a pretty damn well-known company. The last two words in the name are music group. And if everything goes according to plan, and if everything's real, if the middleman isn't bullshitting me, if my cost is reasonable to that person. There's a person getting money from a certain group to start a podcast, and the lady went through someone that I know, saying, hey, I know you're into music. I know you do this, that, and the other thing. Who does your recording? Or, like, can you help? My name was dropped. And...
Hell yeah.
Right?
And, awesome,
like,
dude.
so now this person's looking for me. And, yeah, if everything goes well, I could have about $5,000 a month job.
There you go. That's freaking awesome.
Managing a podcast.
Yeah. Which, lucky enough for me, you happen to be gaining, lucky enough for you, you happen to be gaining experience on what the process is and, you know, how to manage it. So, la-di-da.
We need to have, like, an official launch. We'll talk about this later.
Yes.
Because not something we can discuss on the mic.
Yeah, plus, you know, we're just, at this point, it'll just be more rambling. And we're known for that now. That's just what this is. I mean...
For now, I mean, I'm gonna start writing agendas.
And
I'm
topics
gonna
and try to make it a little more organized.
Try.
Obviously, we want to keep the rambling as part of
what we do.
Yeah, because that's just who we
that's
are.
That's just podcasts.
Yeah, that's just podcast. That's what we do. It's what this, you know, it's what the Real Shit podcast is basically founded upon. I'm pretty sure I said that in the first ever one that I, you know,
which is
produced.
you rambling.
Which is me rambling, and also, it's funny though because I'll go back and I'll listen now to like the first one I made, compared to, you know, the ones where obviously we're, you know, like we're sitting here now, and
studio.
Just the progressions that we've made. Obviously, you opening up your studio was a huge, major, it's a milestone for this podcast because the quality got better. Honestly, the content got better. I mean, obviously we're rambling now, and we have been for the past however long this podcast is. Probably an hour.
And 56.
Okay, so probably like an hour and a half or so. But either way, with that being said, it's been awesome. Like, I actually genuinely love going back. Like, I'll be at work, and obviously what I do is kind of like a mindless task. Like, I'm in a groove. So a lot of times, you know, I'll listen to music or whatever. But there's a lot of times I'll listen to my own podcast.
You have to. You have to listen back on it and see how you've grown. Like, if you look at any artist, like when they're posting their shit on Instagram, or any photographers posting their shit on Instagram, you go all the way down.
Yep.
And see where they started.
Yep. And then you see the progression that they have made.
And you just slowly scroll back up, and she's like, damn.
No, that's something that I try to make sure that I, you know, take notice of and actually, you know, make important. Because that's something too. That's just self-betterment to begin with. But within going back and listening to that stuff,
shit! I should have gotten you a more comfortable chair. I'm sure your back's killing you.
It's a little sore, but it is what it is. You know.
He's sitting on a drum throne.
Yeah. It was the second chair that was available.
Yeah, I should have.
It was either that or the floor.
I should have taken notice, and I should have ran downstairs and gotten you a chair that's actually comfortable.
It works. It's working. I'm here. Honestly, if anything, my ass is more sore than my back is.
Yeah, that's what happens with drum thrones.
Cushioning's cool, you know, it's got cushion, but no, it really doesn't, because the cushion just kind of like seeps out along the sides. Like, I can grab the cushion right now that's currently not supporting my ass, and yeah, it's, you know, it's not bad. Every once in a while, I just kind of stand up.
Stand up, pick your wedgie.
Yeah, because, you know, yeah, but no, I mean. Getting back on what we were kind of saying before. Tasty. Oh, by the way, there's going to be a specific person that listens to this podcast. I don't know if she's going to listen to it all or not, but that's it. That's all I need to do. So, anyways, how you doing?
Is it a special lady friend?
Something like that, yeah.
The one that you took a nice Snapchat photo of the other day?
Oh, that's a funny story, because there's actually a second photo that I didn't put on my story.
I would probably hope, with the way that's going already.
No, well, it's funny because we had to go to the bank, and she needed to take money out of the ATM. But obviously, when you drive up to the ATM, it's on the driver's side. So she's like, what am I going to do? I'm like, you're not getting out of the car. That'd be stupid. It's like, slide over here and sit on Daddy's lap. That whoa.
You did not just call yourself daddy. You did not just call yourself daddy.
If you edited it out, no, I didn't.
Oh no, it's staying in.
No, it's staying in.
Oh, it's staying in.
Yeah, but
It's going to be called what is the title? It's going to be Radio Politics Bullshit and Bew calls himself daddy.
Daddy.
Yummy.
But no, so anyways, I'm like, slide over on my lap and do what you gotta do. And she did. And I thought it was funny. So I took a photo. This is not the photo you're thinking of. This was like a week before I took a photo. And then we went back.
Sure.
And she did it again. And then that time I took a photo. And then I put it on my story. Because it was funny as hell at that point. Because, you know, she's just like laying on top of me.
And you're sitting there with a massive heart on.
Like, damn. Mm-hmm. It's like honestly, that's the only reason why I wanted you on my lap. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
you could have handed me your card, and I could have put your pin in for you.
I could have
hit
done
the button.
that, and I could have got your money for you and just handed it to you. But no, I just wanted your ass on my dick. Like that's just what I wanted. I wanted you to sit on my dick. You know, most people are like, sit on my face. I'm like, nah, sit on my dick.
Because you're a pussy.
No.
Okay, this is not a discussion we could be having on the air. This is something we can't be having on the air.
See, for me, I'm comfortable with it, but I don't know how my significant other feels about it.
So it'll be edited out.
Certain sections, I think that would be.
We're just gonna edit up to Bew calls himself Daddy. That's gonna be the intro.
We'll have to when we come up with like promos for this. We'll be like,
Bew calls himself Daddy.
We'll just have to section that out and save that as its own separate file.
Oh yeah, I'm going to. It's gonna be Bew calls himself Daddy. Yummy.
Delicious.
Bew calls himself Daddy. In bed.
You. That's gross. Oh my god. That's disgusting. That's disgusting.
That's going to be saved.
All of it?
What you just did right there.
Disgusting?
That's going to be saved. No. Like, all that. Like, that's disgusting. That's gross.
Ew, that's disgusting.
What are you doing that for?
Don't say that. Oh my god, that's so gross. Well, with that being said, I think we should wrap this bullshit session up.
I mean, it's been 2 hours and 2 minutes and 55 seconds.
Hell yeah, brother. But you know it's going to be compressed down. It's going to be
Bew
smaller.
calls himself Daddy.
But,
that's just going to be riddled through the rest of our podcast.
Yep. In the opening and in the closing.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Bew calls himself Daddy.
But
I gotta get like the voice on. I gotta get the voiceover voice on, and I gotta like set it up like Bew calls himself Daddy. we gotta pick out the best sounding.
I could do it. Like
Bew calls himself Daddy. You're too emphasizing.
Yeah, I'm trying too hard now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not natural.
Bew calls himself Daddy. Like even that was a little better, but still too forced.
So I need to go a little deeper, I think.
Bew calls himself Daddy. There you go. I could save that one.
Pet this pussy.
Smack that bitch in the pussy. Ping.
What's that? You know the Goldfish song?
No.
Oh, I can't. We'll do it. No, it's funny because like it's something, but then at the end they're like
Pop.
goldfish.
Pop.
But I forget.
Oh, snack that smiles back.
Goldfish. It's like Smack that bitch's ass.
Smack that bitch's ass. Goldfish.
I bet you want some goldfish. Smacks her ass, feeds her goldfish.
No. Just has a handful of goldfish and smacks her ass. She'll go up there and crush.
Up.
Gaping.
Then instead of leaving a handprint on her ass, it's just like a bunch of little
goldfish crumbs.
Goldfish crumbs on her ass.
All right. Well, that's getting edited out.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, hey doggy, how are you? You want to say something? Go ahead. Say something. Say something. Oh, he just licked the microphone.
Dog, sit down.
But, all right. With that being said, thank you so much for listening. Hope you did enjoy, as always. The bullshit session always continues. Thanks for Nick to not only opening up his studio for us to be able to sit here and record these, but thanks for also joining me. Obviously, the fun is always there, and it's always entertaining as hell. And, yeah, I guess we will see you in the next podcast. Peace out, nerds.
Really? That's how you're going to end it?
Yeah, can we retry that, actually? I really regret the whole nerd thing.
Okay. I didn't hit pause. I mean, that's gonna probably. I'm probably gonna edit some of that and just leave this bit in now.
Yeah, just leave this bit where we're like, okay, well, thank you so much for listening.
Nerds. Like, what the fuck was that?
I don't know.
All right, let's try this again.
All right. Well,
thanks for listening to the Real Shit Podcast.
What's up, pups?
He said something.
Yeah, he said something. I hope the mic picked that up.
I think it did.
I definitely did.
That's all you hear from him. Hello. Hi, pup. Hi. Okay. Hi.
But all right, with that being said, we will be seeing you hopefully soon in the next podcast, and we'll come up with an agenda.
Today, Junior.
Today, Junior. But no, hopefully we'll come up with something, and we'll actually have an actual
agenda.
Keyword is agenda, where we actually have topics we'll discuss. The rambling obviously is never going to go away, but having a topic, I think, is
having a few topics. It will steer our rambling into a direction,
a more productive direction, I would say. But yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you in the next one.
Cheers.